What's going on, guys? I've been working for the last 2 hours on another car. As you can see, looks like an 8th gen behind me, 4-door sedan. And let me tell you what's going on. And this was very unexpected, but I'm glad it happened because we're benefiting from it. Alright guys, this is my uncle's 2009 Honda Civic LXS. It has about 90,000 miles, and as you can see, I'm taking a lot of parts off of it. Is he going turbo? It kind of looks like he's going turbo, but he's not going turbo. Pretty good condition, original owner, white JDM. It's got the black interior, guys. So I guess the 09s, the LXS models came with black seats. So the black seats, the black trim, the black dash, dope. Not the cleanest interior, but still, man, I love the black seats. Always wanted the black interior on mine. You guys know these 8th gen Civics had the weirdest combinations with colors. Like if you get white, sometimes the 06s came with tan. Same thing if you got black, it was tan interior. It was the dumbest combinations Honda could have offered. But the reason this car is sitting in my driveway right now is not because we're turboing it and we're modifying it. It's because of this. It got rear-ended by a Jeep. And as you can see, that's quite an indentation, which led to a lot of damages. There is a kink right here in the pillar, a kink right here, and obviously there's a lot of damage. Even all the pinch welds came off. So the sheet, the body sheet metal came off from the pinch welds there. Got pushed in quite a bit, as you can see, by the Jeep, which led the trunk being locked. We're not able to open it. So yeah, there you have it, and there you have it. This is what I'm doing. Since my uncle decided that the car is going to get salvaged, because they salvaged it, so he had the option of keeping it and repairing it himself, or just giving it off to the salvage auction or whatever and getting paid out for the car. So that's what the plan is, to get paid out. Now these are parts that I'm taking out of the car because he was cool enough to tell me, hey, if you want any parts before we junk it, go ahead and take it. So clearly this is time sensitive because they're going to be taking the car in a day or so. I'm just going to run through all the parts that I'm getting from this car. Brand new battery, pretty much. This is a 922 Costco battery, so I'm going to be taking that, swapping my battery from 2001 in his car. And let me just get you up from here. This is my muffler that, if you guys have been watching the channel, we actually cut out and we gutted the interior just to free up some horsepower and get some exhaust note from the muffler. However, over time it started leaking a little bit, but that's what we're going to be throwing back on the car, and we're taking his factory muffler. The tips are a little bit different. The one I had was a little bit bigger, but I'm not gonna finesse with everything just because, again, time sensitive. This is plenty, and again, we're not planning to go stock yet, but in case we do, we'll have these extra parts. So this one in the top is mine, and this is from this Civic right over here. And the reason I'm swapping these out, one is my factory S-pipe rusted through. These are my shitty flux core welds from 2 years ago, and right now I'm running my turbo Civic and I'm still running the stock S-pipe. I can hear exhaust leaking from the S-pipe, so hopefully we swap it in with this S-pipe, and this one looks to be in better condition. Doesn't look like it has exhaust leaks. It has the factory shield on it, so we're taking that. Now going to the catalytic converter. When I took out my catalytic converter from my car to go turbo, I stripped my oxygen sensor, so the threads on the catalytic converter are a little bit stripped too. So I didn't get a chance to buy a thread chaser kit, But we're gonna install these back on this car, mount it here. I do have a little bit of JB Weld if I will need it, but I think it's gonna sneak in and sit pretty tight over there. It's just the fact that they are damaged, and I don't want to deal with that if I decide to put anything back. Next thing is I just ripped out the passenger side boot, axle boot. Pretty easy to do. It was actually my first time taking out a boot, so I'm kind of happy about that. My factory boot on my car started leaking a lot of grease from the boot. This one's a little bit wet, just a hair, but it's nowhere near how bad mine is. So we're definitely taking that, and we're taking the ignition coils also. Again, 90,000 miles on these ignition coils compared to my car. So I'm gonna start swapping my parts back in on the vehicle. There's a few parts that I'm still gonna try to take. I'm gonna try to take this fuse box cover because mine has a couple of melted points on that, and I may or may not take the bottom of this intake box because these clips on mine, they're held on by the bottom piece of the intake cover, but I think mine are broken. So when you try to open the intake box, they just fall off, and if they fall off in the engine bay, good luck trying to find them. So I might just take the bottom of that intake box as well. Unfortunately, we're not going to be taking the interior again. It's just it's a big job, and again, not the best interior. This was a construction guy's car, you know, he did a lot of stuff. But one thing we might take is these little puppies. I might maybe just give him mine and take these, since you guys know this is a common problem with the Civics where they go bad and they break. I might take these, I don't know. That's something we might take. And lastly, my Honda emblem has gone missing. I might try to take this emblem. I mean, this is going to garbage anyway. I know they took some pictures of it, but I mean, come on, maybe the Honda emblem fell off. So I'll see. If that side wasn't damaged, I would have taken these outer tail lights as well with the clear turn signals. I'm such a big fan of the clear turn signals compared to the, like my 07, it's just all red. So I'll totally dig in the clear turn signals much more than that. And yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. That's pretty much a wrap, guys. I'm gonna start putting all this stuff together. I'm gonna have to get this car in the side, on the side here, pull my car in the driveway, and start taking the axle out of my car and ignition coils out of my car. And I think that's it. The only thing I'm concerned about, guys, I bought a new OEM replica suspension kit, and I'm afraid of taking off the lower ball joint or the lower control arm bolts because I think they'll strip when I try to take out the axle. I just hope it doesn't, but I'm pretty sure it might, because those parts, those OEM rep parts are not the same quality as really like the OEM parts. They rust. The strength is not the same, and I already tried removing a few months ago my driver's side after I installed them for 2 weeks, and I already stripped the threads on that. So that's the only thing, but hey, it's worth it. We get a replacement axle. So I'm gonna jump on here, start reinstalling these parts in this car, so then we can give him the car back by tomorrow, hopefully. Man, guys, it is the second day. Got the wheels on. The white Civic, was able to move it out of the way, pulled in the Turbo Vic, and we just pulled out our axle from the car. Pretty easy. Everything went smooth with the ball joints, the ones I mentioned earlier. So we got my axle here, passenger side, his axle here. The only reason I'm swapping this one out is on mine, I had a small leak on the edge. His kind of does too. You can see a little bit of oil spotting over here, but mine was actually already starting to just leak more and more, and to the point where actually my quick fix was spray some Flex Seal on it, and the Flex Seal really did a good job containing that grease in the boot. But I figured since this one's going to the junkyard, I'm gonna throw on the better axle. And yeah, we're gonna swap his in right now, and then we're gonna swap our ignition coils. I have a list here actually. I made a list of all the parts that I kind of want to take. So serpentine belt, I don't think I'm gonna deal with that. I don't care about the belt. I was gonna take his lower intake box for the factory intake. The only reason I was gonna take his is because some of my clips, when you open it, you know, the clips hold on the bottom side of the intake, and some of the clips I have, I think it's this one, yeah, right over here, it just falls off. So I don't know, I don't know if it's worth pulling the whole intake for that, but I might take the bottom side of his intake. And I was gonna take the spare tire, but let me see, I don't know if it's gonna be worth it. I know we can't get the trunk open. I might pull his tire. I don't know, his tire is obviously newer than mine. We both used our spare tires before, so it's kind of hit or miss. And I was gonna take this Honda emblem from his Honda, because I don't know if someone stole mine or if it fell off. So I'm just rocking those. I painted those little clips black and it's just there. I don't know, I'm fine with it the way it is really, but if I was able to snag it, I would. The problem is, insurance company, again, not that they would care, but pictures were taken with everything like this, so I don't know, it's no big deal if I don't get it. We're gonna start swapping all the parts, and then start his car, drive my car. Hopefully with the swap parts everything works good, because if it doesn't, then we got a problem. Man, one of these days hopefully I'll have a garage. It started raining again. I worked through most of it, but it just sucks. I got the axle installed in the Civic. I just took the ignition coils. And the battery, and I also took a valve cover bolt that broke off on my car. I just have to get this car repositioned here and install my axle. Just sprayed a little bit of paint on it so it looks a little bit more stealth here. And I also have to take out my secondary oxygen sensor that's on the turbo downpipe, and we're gonna fit it into his Honda on the secondary sensor, so it runs and drives no problem. And that's pretty much it. I might take the sun visors. As you guys all know, the 8th gen Honda Civic's sun visors break, and mine did break a long time ago. Well, I really tried to tried to change the fabric, and I took them apart, but long story short, they're broken. So I might swap them in his car and take his, so I'm OEM again. Axle snaps into the transmission, and then you just gotta align the splines with the hub assembly. 32 mil, torque it down, and then you're gonna have to make a groove in the axle just so it stays put and doesn't loosen up over time. All right, got the axle installed. Everything is nice and tight. We impacted that, so that's not going anywhere. Let's give it a start. First start since it came into the shop, and need a key. So the main thing we're going to be looking for during this startup is one. Oh no, I can't start it yet. I still need a secondary oxygen sensor from the Civic. Yeah, I still don't have that secondary over there. But yeah, these are my ignition coils, my cap, my battery. Let's see if I can take out that secondary oxygen sensor. It's kind of hard to take it out with the turbo because of how it is mounted. I installed it actually before I even put it on, before I put the turbo in the car, because you could barely see it. So I'll try my best. Otherwise, I might have to pull the whole turbo out, which I kind of have to or want to do, because I've been having some turbo draining problems from the turbo center cartridge, and I want to take a look at inside the turbo, see what's going on. But that's a video for another day. All right, and with great success, we were able to pull out my secondary oxygen sensor. So we're keeping his, we're popping in ours, and you can even see, well, that's moisture from the turbo. A little bit of oiliness too there. Mounted here, time to start her up. As you can see, 91,500 miles. I totally didn't record if this had any check engine lights or anything, but it looks solid. Time to look for some exhaust leaks, but it sounds pretty dang quiet, so I think we're solid. The JB Weld might be steaming off a little bit right here. That's nice and solid. I mean, maybe you can just hear the S-pipe leaking a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now this leak though, that worries me a little bit. We'll let it air out and see what happens. All right, everything burned off, and it's actually nice and quiet, not leaking. It's solid. So the last thing I might try to take again are these puppies here. Maybe not. I don't know if I should or shouldn't. I'm just tired of working on this car already, but I'll decide that in a little bit. But that's about it for this video. That's about it for this video, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe for content.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true.